Hey guys, it's Drabble Geek here, and welcome back to another unboxing video where I did not have one for you last week because somehow my audio was messed up. And let me turn my phone off as well. Yeah, so somehow my audio was messed up, so I couldn't get any of it. But, we'll have to see what happens. But I do have a new stack for you guys, and special announcement. This is actually the first Pokemon video I'm making since I have officially became a doctor. So I am officially Dr. Drabble Geek, I suppose you could say. I defended the previous week. Well, I guess 2 weeks previous to this, when you're seeing this now, but kind of exciting, just finishing up with school officially for the next little bit, and then we'll see what we go from there. But I have a couple of packs. I have a couple of more packs. I'm not going to probably buy any more until after I move, just so I don't have to worry about getting shipments as I'm trying to move out. Um, but we'll see what I decide to do with that. I haven't completely decided yet. But here's our stack. I'm going to open. I accidentally did see the bottom. It's a fighting energy, but that's not why we're here. We're here for the Pokemon. Alright, so I have my list, I have my stack, my clear desk pile. Let's do this. First Pokemon, we have a sock. I think that's supposed to be sock. I'm not sure. If you see a sock training in the mountains in its single-minded pursuit of strength, it's best to quietly pass by. Will do. Next card, we have a Hakorus. Oh, it's the evolution of Fracture. I think I remember that one. Its resilient tusks are its pride and joy. It licks up dirt to take in the minerals it needs to keep its tusk in top conditions. Kind of looks like its tusks kind of look like a battle axe. So that's interesting. Alright, next card. We have the Dusclops. One of our favorite ghost friends, evolution. Its body is entirely hollow. When it opens its mouth, it sucks everything in as if it were a black hole. Again, definitely some gluttony vibes. I did just recently rewatch Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, and it hits so much differently right now. I'm not going to go into why it probably hits different, but it hits different right now. Right, next card, we have a Starmie, just hanging out on the beach. This Pokemon has an organ known as its core. The organ glows in 7 colors when Starmie is unleashing its potent psychic power. That sounds kind of like the spell Prismatic Spray. It's just like a bunch of colors and each one does something different. Alright, next card, we have Cynthia's Ambition. It's a trainer. She looks mysterious. Also some kind of like Umbreon, I think. A little bit. Draw cards until you have 5 cards in your hand. If any of your Pokemon were knocked out during your opponent's last turn, draw cards until you have 8 cards in your hand instead. I guess if you're running low, you can get a bunch more options. Alright, next card, we have a Chincinco, something like that. I probably will never pronounce this right. It's the double C's, I think. Sinkiko. Sinking, no, something like that. Its body secretes oils that this Pokemon spreads over its nest as a coating to protect it from dust. Sinkino won't tolerate even a speck of the stuff. Nice. Alright, next card we have cleansing gloves. Another item. These are new to me as well. The attacks of the Pokemon this card is attached to do more damage to your opponent's active psychic Pokemon before applying the weakness and resistance. Nice. So I guess if you see your opponent really likes psychic Pokemon, then that would be a good card to have in your hand. Right, next we have hunting gloves. I guess this is just a glove-studded event. The attacks of the Pokemon this card is attached to do 30 more damage to your opponent's active dragon Pokemon before applying weakness and resistance. So there's probably one of these types of gloves for every type of energy this game has. Next, we have Burmy. I don't think I've heard of this one before, but they do look adorable. If its cloak is broken in battle, it quickly remakes the cloak with materials nearby. A cloak? Maybe it's the stuff that's covering it. It's considered the cloak. Interesting. Right, next we have a Cherubi, I think. Cherubi. Clearly cherries. The deeper Cherubi's red, the more nutrients it has stockpiled in its body, and the sweeter and tastier its small ball. What? Are we eating this Pokemon? What ball is it talking about? I kind of don't want to know. Alright, next card. We have a Starly. They flock around mountains and fields, chasing after bug Pokemon. Their singing is noisy and annoying. I mean, it depends on when they start singing. If I'm tired, then I absolutely hate it. If not, I'm fine with birds chirping. Next card is a Rylu. I believe we've had this art style a lot before. Is exceedingly energetic with enough stamina to keep running all through the night. Taking it for walks can be a challenging experience. Next card, we have a Klinklang. Klinklang, I think. Looks kind of like a Gundam, to be honest. From its spikes, it launches powerful blasts of energy. Its red core contains an enormous amount of energy. Nice. Right, next card, we have a Magmar, our flaming duck Pokemon. Magmar dispatches its prey with fire, but it regrets this habit once it realizes it has burnt its intended prey to a charred crisp. Do better then. Alright, next card, we have a Staryu. Finishing up our starfish. If you visit the beach at the end of summer, you'll be able to see a group of Staryu lighting up in a steady rhythm. I wonder if that's their breeding season. That'd be cool. Alright, next, we have a Buizel. It inflates the flotation sac around its neck and pokes its head out of the water to see what is going on. Next card, we have a Halucha. It drives its opponents to exhaustion with his agile maneuvers, then ends the fight with a flashy finishing move. Next, we have a Thor. I think that's how you're supposed to pronounce it, Thor. It performs throwing moves with first-rate skill. Over the course of many battles, Thor's belt grows darker as it absorbs its wearer's sweat. Again, that is gross. Please wash it. Although it probably doesn't have a washing machine. Please air dry. Alright, next we have a Pokeball. Flip a coin. If heads, search your deck for a Pokemon, reveal it, and put it into your hand. Then shuffle your deck. If tails, sucks to suck. Next, we have a Skyther. Pretty sure it's Skyther. As Skyther fights more and more battles, its skies become sharper and sharper. With a single slice, Skyther can fell a massive tree. Alright, next card, we have a Larvitar. Larvitar, just using a rock, it seems, as a teething toy. Born deep underground, this Pokemon becomes a pupa after eating enough dirt to make a mountain. That's a lot of dirt. Like, are we sure mountain and not hill? Hill would make more sense considering how tiny it is. But a mountain? Yikes. Alright, next we have a Magmite. It looks like it's on the ocean from this picture, at least on one side of it. The electromagnetic waves emitted by the units of the sides of its head expels anti-gravity, which allows it to float. Right, next we have a Linoon. Loon, I think. Looks like a ferret. It uses its explosive speed and razor-sharp claws to bring down prey. Running along the winding paths is not its strong suit. Probably runs into stuff. Probably like Sloth in a way. Alright. Starmori. It looks more like a robot than a bird. People fashion swords from Starmie's shed feathers, so this Pokemon is a popular element in Herdalic designs. Interesting. Yeah, I've never heard of this one either. It does look like a raptor, though. Alright, next we have a Wuck trio, the water version of our duck trio. It has a vicious temperament. Contrary to what its appearance may suggest, it wraps its long bodies around prey, then drags the prey into its den. That's horrifying. Ugh, one of my nightmares. Next, we have a fungus. A fungus that looks like, I think it's the top of it looks like a Pokeball. You know, for evolution effects. There is a theory that the developer of the modern-day Pokeball really liked fungus, but this has not been confirmed. Why didn't you ask him? Did Professor Oak not do it? In the games, I think it's Professor Oak. Maybe, I forget. Alright, next, we have a Pidgey. Pidgey. I always get the G and D confused when I say it. It is docile and prefers to avoid conflict. If disturbed, however, it can ferociously strike back. I think that's true of most birds. As long as you leave them alone, they don't care about you. Except ravens. If you mess with one, it's either ravens or crows. If you mess with one, the entire flock finds out about it and will come after you. Right, next we have Ninetales. Looks glorious in this picture. Very smart and very vengeful. Grabbing one of the many tails could result in a 1,000-year curse. Yeah, and that's dishonor on your entire family line. Alright, next card we have a Polteaguest. I think we don't have this one. Polteaguest. I love tea. I'm actually sipping tea right now before I do more work. This tea is composes Polteaguest's body has a distinct and enjoyable flavor. Drinking too much, however, can be fatal. Why would you? It's probably some rich person thing, weird thing that they do, because I'm just like, why would you do that? Alright, next we have an electric. Yeah, I think electric. Looks like a goofy fish. They coil around foes and shock them with electricity generating organs that seem to be a circular pattern. Well, it will be circular if you circle around them. Or the organs are like coils. Is that what it means? Maybe it means that organs look like electric coils. Right, next card, we have a Darmanitan. Darmanitan. It looks like a very angry man, at least the face. That is all I'm saying. This Pokemon's power level rises along with the temperature of its fire, which can reach 2,500 degrees Fahrenheit. That's doing too much. We only need 212. That's the perfect temperature. So this is a Stoutland. Is this supposed to be like a terrier? Maybe it's supposed to be like a terrier. Or maybe I'm mixing my dogs up. Either way, I can like just see the real life dog this one's based off of. Stoutland is immensely proud of its impressive mustache. It's said that mustache length is what determines social standing among the species. I mean, fair. You have to have a glorious stash. Alright, next card. We have a Frogadier? Frogadier, maybe? Its swiftness is unparalleled. It can scale a tower of more than 2,000 feet in a minute's time. Again, that's doing too much. Just hang out. Alright, next card. We have a Finizen, which is a little dolphin. So cute. It likes playing with others of its kind, using the water ring on its tail. It uses ultrasonic waves to sense the emotions of other living creatures. Yeah, I think that's the same with actual dolphins, other than the floaty thing it looks like it's around the tail. Alright, next we have a Larvesta. Looks like a little firebug Pokemon, I think. This Pokemon was called the larva that stole the sun. The fire Larvesta spouts from its horns can cut right through a sheet of iron. Lovely. Sounds very dangerous. Alright, next card, we have our Purloin, the standard house cat. It steals things from people just to amuse itself with their frustration. A rivalry exists between this Pokemon and Nickit, probably another klepto Pokemon. I don't think we've seen it yet. Right, next card, we have a Numel. Looks like a bored turtle, kind of. Can't really tell what it's trying to be. Magma of almost 2,200 degrees Fahrenheit courses through its body. When it grows cold, magma hardens and slows it. So if it's using its fire, it's fast, but otherwise it's a turtle. But again, why do you need something at 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit? Makes no sense. Alright, next is Surskit. It still looks like a water spider, but it's grass type. They usually live on ponds, but after an evening shower they may appear on puddles and towns. Yeah, it seems like it should be a water type, not a grass type. Maybe even just like a normal type. Weird. Alright, next card we have a Graveyard, which looks like a haunted puppy. Is that one of the lantern Pokemon that is on its head? Maybe, I can't tell because of the shadows. It's said that a dog Pokemon that died in the wild without ever interacting with a human was reborn as this Pokemon. Okay, so it's wild, not like a pet that became a vengeful spirit. That's better. He's just having fun. Alright, next card we have a Tynamo. I think a Tynamo has like a weird mouth. Probably it maybe works like a leech, and that's how it shocks you. While one alone doesn't have much power, a chain of many Tynamo can be as powerful as lightning. Next card, we have another Rylu, but different art. And I think all the Rylus have like the same description, so I'm not going to read the description again. Right, next card, we have another Starly, but different art. This description sounds familiar. I'm going to go with we read it. Alright, next we have a Spiritomb, which as usual looks really funky, but I like it anyways. Alright, exactly 108 spirits gathered to become this Pokemon. Apparently there are some ill-natured spirits in the mix. So it'll do its own little thing. Interesting. Alright, next we have a Mothim. Oh, it's the evolution of the Burmese that we got earlier. Mothim. So I guess it is like the pupa. Pupa to fully grown? Because this does not look like a larva. It flutters around at night and steals honey from the comb beehive hive. I would do the same thing. I love honey. Alright, next we have a Prinplup. I've had a couple of these before. It lives a solitary life. Its wings deliver wicked blows that can snap even the thickest of trees. Alright, next, it seems like we have our energies. So this one's lightning energy. The last one on the bottom that I saw before, fighting energy. Let's see. Another fighting energy. Psychic energy. And last but not least, we have a dark energy. I don't think I've ever seen this card art style before, though. It's really interesting. It kind of doesn't match any other cards. Yeah, it doesn't really match any card design of the ones I've seen or any of these other ones. Oh well. Well, that was a good way to get back in. We got mainly all cards with like either new Pokemon or different art styles, so that was an interesting get for an entire stack. we have a new trainer and we have some gloves. So I think that was a pretty good haul. And again, I'm so happy. This was my present to myself for finishing grad school, I suppose. And then we have 3 more stacks, 1 small one, and we have 2 pretty large ones. So we have a couple of weeks of this before I move. And then if there's any time between me moving and doing some other stuff, we'll figure out some other fun things we can do on the weekend. Because again, for whatever reason, I've decided this channel is fun on the weekends, but school business during the weeks. So come back next weekend for more fun. But I will see you guys later. Bye!